Now, speaking of karma, let's talk about Mr. Lopez. Mario Lopez, that is, I was going to say Mr. Mita. But anyway, so Mario Lopez is out here in these streets being dragged like the heifer that he is because the people said that apparently he is a Trump supporter. And he took to social media and said, I'm not political. I don't get into that Trump stuff, which we know was a damn lie because I got receipts. Now, it's funny how they all say that because didn't Dwayne Johnson get his ass handed to him recently because he was somebody he didn't want to get political because people don't really know how to have genuine conversation? Yeah, the other side, the Republican side, y'all don't want to have real, genuine, smart conversations. When we try to sit y'all down and have genuine conversations, understand what your frustrations are, um, y'all don't want to have that conversation. You want to just deliberately be combative because you don't want to hear what's going on from the other side because you've been indoctrinated by Fox News and these other people. The Democrats are the enemy and anything that we try to like recently, because y'all hatred for Zoran Mamdani. Zoran Mamdani said, keep y'all ACs because it was a scorcher in New York. I'm sure it was in other places, but we was in the triple digits for the past couple of days. Today it rained, which I love, and the fact that it is officially 72 degrees outside right now. Um, when he was telling people to keep they ACs at a certain temperature, I heard that the Department of Energy or whatever the case was erased all this information, which literally was on the website. That was probably from the previous administration because they wanted to be like, well, no, don't listen to him. So anytime somebody deliberately tries to tell you to do something just for your own good, you're going to go against it. Like, wasn't there just another state? It might have been Kentucky, Alabama, one of them places that just voted against raising the minimum wage because y'all been again, clearly y'all like abuse and y'all like living below the poverty line. So you don't want nothing better for yourselves. Or when you tell somebody like lower the AC situation so you can conserve energy, oh no, that you're not gonna tell me what. Okay, so then when your whole neighborhood blacks out and you're sitting in smoldering heat and you have no AC, I don't want to hear shit. Don't you sit up on social media, ask them to set up a whole goddamn GoFundMe so we can send you money to go stay in a hotel overnight because your stupid ass didn't want to listen when we was trying to tell y'all bring down the damn temperature on the AC, which many of the mayors prior to Zoran has told people that. But because it's coming from him, y'all don't want to hear it. So let's call it for what it is. So the Mexican equivalent of plastic tiara, meaning he got a lot of plastic in his damn face, because that face ain't natural. I was looking at a picture of him. I was like, why your face look like it's 25, but your neck look like it's 55? Because I see them wrinkles up in there. And usually the Mexicans don't be aging horribly. Y'all got some good melanin up in that skin. But I guess when you side with the side of Trump, you're gonna start aging like him and his people. Because y'all want to be white so bad. Now, after sharing a photo on Instagram at the White House ahead of the June 14th Freedom 250 fight, which was a disaster, along with this whole 250 event thing that they just had, didn't a storm prevent it from happening? So yeah, there was a photo that he took with Dana White because he's friends with him, and he said that. And being featured in an exposing Latino MAGA artist video, which I do have a clip of that, and we're gonna show it in a second. Lopez is speaking out about whether he supports Donald Trump. He said, you need to get your facts straight. This is what he said in a sensitive IG comment per BuzzFeed. In the comment section of the exposing Latino MAGA artist video, I've interviewed Trump many times when he was on The Apprentice, and I didn't attend the White House event. I was in DC shooting a primetime special at the time for CBS debating a civics competition for kids. Lopez then addressed connecting with White ahead of the contentious UFC fight that took place on the White House lawn. Trailer trash. Now, Dana White happens to be a friend of mine, so we got together while in town. Like I said, I'm not a political person, too divisive. I could care less about politics. I care about my family, my community, my culture, my faith. Isn't that what they always gravitate towards to shut y'all down with the thing? When you start saying faith, this is like like for sleeper agents. That's like certain buzzwords. You have my family, community, culture, faith. When you start saying those things, oh, they feel like that's gonna be the thing that shuts y'all up. Oh, he's a faith man. He's from the church. You know how the evangelicals like to brainwash a lot of y'all and things of that nature, where they try to indoctrinate a lot of their Christian beliefs and religious beliefs. They're the only people that I know that be out here trying to force their stuff on you. But the rest of us out here mind our damn business. And I hate when they go and say I'm not a political person because didn't Dwayne Johnson say the same thing to, oh, it's too divisive. And it was only divisive because y'all make it divisive. There could be ways that we can come together and have these conversations and realize we have a lot more in common than you realize. But a lot of y'all don't because there's an agenda. There's money to be made in keeping people divided about things, be it political or whatever is going on, socio-economical and all the other things. So he said, God bless you. Lord, here we go. And have a nice day. But please don't spread misinformation. So now his aforementioned post with White ahead of the fight reads, in town working in D.C. and stopped to visit my guy, Dana White. Apparently he got a little event planned in the White House lawn this Sunday, like you didn't know. So you were trying to set up as this thing and didn't realize the backlash. And on his Instagram, they was going in on him talking about, oh, it looked like you out here still using steroids. People was making comments about he using steroids to maintain his figure, the plastic surgery or the fillers or whatever it is that he uses. So people was going in on him on his own page. I was like, child, I would just make sure I couldn't have any comments put on my page because they just was eating him up. Then he also took he was seen spotted having a conversation, smiling, cheesing with Linda McMahon, who you know is running, it was the Secretary of Education. What the fuck she know about the education department? But she got a job. You know a lot about wrestling because her husband wasn't her husband Vince McMahon, or her husband is Vince McMahon, and that's what they hired to be. Well, that's what the president hired to be the U.S. Secretary of Education. And you wonder why our kids are growing up to be even more stupid. So then he said, I'm in New York, man. I'm shooting a movie, he said. A movie must be on Lifetime. When the reporter or that Christian network that Candace Cameron Bure is on, when the reporter asked about Trump, Lopez said, I'm not. I don't think anything. The reporter continued to press, bringing up Spencer Pratt's recent venture into politics, to which Lopez replied, I don't talk politics. It's not my thing. But you like to mingle with people who are engulfed in politics. And just because you don't talk about it, don't necessarily mean you're not indoctrinating or surrounding yourself or following people that agree with your political ideologies. And I'm gonna get to it in a minute of who exactly he is following on social media. I told you I got receipts. So Lopez never explicitly endorsed a political candidate. 10 years ago in May of 2016, during an interview with Trump via Extra TV, he told the then presidential candidate that he was conservative. He said, I'm Latino, happen to also be conservative, a child of Mexican immigrants. And when you initially announced, you did so where some people thought there was some harsh rhetoric, maybe disappointed some Hispanics. How do you gain their support and trust? This is what he asked. And Trump said, I know all about your heritage and respect it gratefully. Well, you got a funny way of showing it, because how many Mexicans has he deported so far in his second term? And how he specifically went after them, calling them rapists and murderers. My relationship with Hispanics is fantastic. I know so many are friends. They buy, Lord, here we go. They buy apartments from me. They rent apartments from me. I have so many employees that are Hispanic. They are incredible people. And the way that people are going to love me is that I'm going to produce jobs like nobody's ever produced jobs. Well, I don't know where them jobs are because I heard like this has been the lowest job creation turn point in a while. Like it's been a low number of jobs being created. He's not creating anything. Only thing you're creating is chaos. So we said we're gonna take our jobs back from China and we're gonna take them back from Mexico. We're gonna have tremendous jobs for oh Lord Jesus Christ. We're gonna have tremendous jobs. This is how he always talks. So um nobody's buying your bullshit, but I do want to play out this clip of this girl who was talking about the whole thing who exposed Mario Lopez for the fraud that he is. So we're gonna get into that clip and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk. Please hold.
To my series where I expose Latino mega businesses that profit off La Raza, where you send me the tip and I do my research so that way you stay informed. And for today's episode, we have something different, so grab your popcorn y vamos a comenzar. A lot of you have been asking me to expose those that are on the screen and we also listen to. Why not give it a try? So for today's episode, we have Mario Lopez. If you didn't know who he was, he hosts On with Mario, which you can listen to in any radio station across the United States and in streaming services like iHeart. And as you can see on his story, he attended this event. Of course, you can go find the post on his Instagram page where he announces that he is going to be attending. And if we focus on his following, of course, we have after the event finished, they caught him leaving, and so they interviewed him, and this is what he had to say.
I'm not. I'm not. I just got done working. I just got done working right here, buddy.
No, I understand. I just wonder what you think about Trump.
Good. I don't think anything. I think I got to go get some dinner.
How about Spencer Pratt? What do you think about him dropping?
Politics. That's not my thing.
He doesn't do politics, and that's not his thing. Are you sure, Mario?
Aquí estoy con señor Trump y estamos hablando de la elección.
Gracias, Mario. Gracias.
Jesus Christ.
I thought you said you didn't do politics. I mean, you have Donald Trump, and then you're talking about the elections. Huh? But you know how like all MAGAs have like the same vocabulary and they use the same arguments? Like, just listen to this.
After immigrants, I'm first generation, but happy to say they came here the right way and they're hardworking folks.
I mean, am I right?
And when you say the right way, that's basically code for, well, we did everything properly. And once we get through the door, you already know how them selfish MFers do. It don't be, and it don't be just Hispanics, be black people, but mostly Hispanics. Where it's like, well, we made it up the ladder. We worked hard. We did all this other stuff. And there's that illusion that if you work hard enough, you too can achieve things. We all know that turns out to be a bullshit and a lie anyway. That may have worked during the Gen X era. That may have worked during the Boomer era. That may have even worked during the silent era. But it ain't working for Gen X. A lot of the Gen Xers is not working for a lot. Well, maybe a lot of the Gen Xers. It's not working for Gen Z. It's not working for Gen Alpha. It's not working for millennials. They're the ones who are really starting to feel the effects of everybody made it through the door, made a lot of money, and now you can retire at a certain age, and everybody else is out here struggling to be able to make ends meet. And when you say, well, we did things the right way, and it's sort of like, oh, well, now that I made it up the ladder, I'm gonna pull that ladder up, and you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna get to the next level. Whereas we all had to work hard because we're first generation. That's the shit I hate from people like him. And for him to sit up here and say that he don't endorse the president, what the fuck was that? You literally told people to go out and support Trump in Spanish. So for you to sit up here and try to act like you're not affiliated, or you're not taking a side, or you don't get into politics because it's divisive, it's clear what side you lean on. And it's fine. It's okay. If you voted for Trump, vote for Trump. But here's the thing: when the shit hits the fan and people start to see the man for what he is, that he's one of the most corrupt presidents we've ever had in American history, that he's a criminal, he's been hit with over 30 charges of, federal charges. When all these things have been pointed out, you don't get to jump ship. You don't get to jump off the Titanic. Know that you're gonna sink with it once that iceberg hits it. Stay on board. Be loyal. Don't run because now the shit is hitting the fan because things have gotten too hot. Stick with what you did. This is who you voted for. Stick it out through the end. But they don't want to do that. They want to be able to have their cake and eat it. But we know when it comes to people like Mario Lopez, it's capitalism before morals at the end of the day. But you're the only one at the end of the day that got to look in the mirror and deal with those. But anyway, I just want to say that real quick, and then we can get back to what she had to say.
Right or am I right? So Mario, are you or are you not in support of the community? Because to me, it don't look like it. Tell Google to change your supporting the immigrant community for MAGA because the math ain't mathing. Please remember to like, comment, and share my
Mm-hmm. The math ain't mathing, like she said. Somebody said, if I hear I don't do politics, I immediately know you aren't my people. Absolutely. Mario is an opportunist. Anything for relevance. He peaked at Big Side High. Ooh, y'all shady. Yeah, it was like that. Once Saved by the Bell got canceled, he had to figure out how to keep that career going. Another person said, I've been calling out Mario for years. He had a DM exchange with him and triggered him. MAGA bro ended up blocking me. Because, he don't have the mental capacity to really talk politics. 9 times out of 10, when these men, they're so fucking stupid, you can eat them up, trust and believe, with facts. And it's like, it's kryptonite to them. Somebody said, I heard his family did not come here legally. Grandfather was deported. Look into it. Ooh. Another person said, I just saw a post from BuzzFeed and he responded to your video. I wish he would on being MAGA. Another person said, I stopped liking him when his VH1 documentary, they said Mario grew up in the mean streets of Chula Vista. There are no mean streets in Chula Vista. Another person said, he blocks everyone who calls him a vendido. Ooh. Well, if the chancleta fit, they did it the right way is only a phrase used so that they can try and justify being community sellouts. Another person said, damn, they tagged him in. And Mario Lopez, seriously, not engaging in politics is engaging in politics. I said that. It's like you say you're not engaging. That means you're engaging. You engage in other ways. I don't mean that you have to flat out say, I endorse so and so. People think you have to give an exact interpretation when it comes to when you say you're endorsing somebody. The people you follow, the people you're friends with, the people you follow on social media, I mean, the people you're friends with, the people you socialize and you hang on, you associate with, that is you taking a stance politically. When you're following Donald Trump, when you're following Donald Trump Jr., when you're following other conservative politicians, that kind of says that you agree with their ideologies. The fuck you talking about? You think by deliberately coming out and saying something that doesn't mean that you agree with like what? But that ain't all. So where was I? Okay, so then let's read one more. Did I finish this one? It said, you may not like politics, yet politics will continue to use you as a token. Unfortunately, you will not see yourself as one until your token is cashed and your use is depleted. And that happens a lot. Once these people have had use of you, they don't care about you. They discard you. But it's all about trying to be a part of that club. Y'all remember that Golden Girls episode where not y'all about to bring up the Golden Girls episode, because I remember that. He was an undocumented student. Did his ass get deported in the episode? So maybe the episode was traumatic for him, and it's kind of it's a trigger. And somebody said they 30-year-old crush just died. I'm like, child, where you been? That boy always been MAGA, whether he want to admit it or not. But last but certainly not least, let me just wrap this up. So, Mario, you full of shit. Nobody's buying a word of what it is that you're saying. I feel like you're trying to abandon ship because or abort because Trump isn't popular even among his base. Is why, because if you look at the poll numbers, he is like it's going down like the Titanic. I just feel like you're just trying to distance yourself from being affiliated with him. And yeah, you put capitalism before any kind of morals, and nothing angers me more than fake Christians like him who will throw the terms family and faith around like it exonerates you from the accusations and observations. And we already went through, all the things of who he follows and stuff, but um one of the things I wanted to bring up was Tanika Ray, who worked with Mario on Extra during multiple stints between 2004 and 2019. And she went on social media and went in and let have and basically exposed Mario. And of course, I got receipts. So hold on, let me bring that up. She said this. She said, well, I was his co-host and I can confirm this is true. It's unfortunate, but glad the truth is out. Maybe it will encourage him to think about it. Happy then again. To think about it. But then again, he's a capitalist first. Anyway, happy Juneteenth. And this was in June when she said this. And then said, this is his journey. He knows, well, I guess depending on who she was talking to, I don't know who she was talking to there, unless she tagged his name. But I'm like, why would you blur his name out? We already know his name is Mario Lopez on Instagram. So she said, this is his journey. He knows I don't agree and he doesn't care. People are in control of their choices. He is Mexican and MAGA. And though it's really confusing to me, it's his life. He is happy with his choice. I pray people wake up because this isn't it. So, there you have it. What more evidence we need for the fact that Mario Lopez is a maggot? So yeah, I say all this to say you can fool whoever you want to fool with this foolishness, but you ain't fooling me. So Mario out here trying to deny he a damn maggot, but we know otherwise. So look, if his career end up drying up because people don't want to fuck with him, he can all go over there and do a movie for Ben Shapiro. like Jonathan Majors, or Uwe Boll needs horrible actors in his horrible movies, which that Citizen Vigilante movie, it was. Shout out to Adam Does Movies. The way he went in on that damn movie. I'm still laughing about it. The his review of the movie was probably better than the movie itself. But definitely check out his review. But anyway, so Uwe Boll probably need more actors in his horrible ass films. Or you can go over there on that American whatever studio that Candace Cameron Bure is working on, or the one that produced that George Washington movie. So you got all these little Christian films or whatever the case is. You can go and work over there on that. They could use some horrible actors and they horrible shit. So yeah, I want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts on this story in the comments.